Thank you, Madam President. Let me start by commending my colleague from Vermont. What happened across the street today at the U.S. Supreme Court will be lost on most Americans. They can't understand why they should even care about it. Because the Supreme Court was asked whether or not it was proper under the law to limit the number of federal campaigns and the total dollars that an individual can give to candidates. And to no one's surprise, the Supreme Court said there should be no limitation. People can give as much money as they want to as many federal candidates as they want with no limitation. So most Americans will say, so what? You know, these politicians, they run against one another during the campaigns. Both sides spend too much money. I'm sick and tired of their ads. I don't care how you pay for it. It's all bad. But I have to say, Senator Sanders put his finger on it. What's at issue here is not just how we finance campaigns, it's who we elect. And what we're faced with is a Supreme Court across the street that celebrates oligarchs. They happen to believe that the wealthiest people in America deserve the strongest voice in American politics. I couldn't disagree more. And sadly, many of us are caught up in this system of campaign financing where we literally have to raise millions of dollars to run for election and re-election. In my state, multimillionaires running for the highest offices against what I consider to be mere mortals, those of us who aren't in the multimillionaire class, trying to compete with them, always wondering if tomorrow the Koch brothers, $80 billion net worth, will say, oh, spend $10 million there, spend $20 million there. Last election cycle, I'd say to my friend in Vermont, as best we can count in the last election cycle, the Koch brothers, K-O-C-H, Koch brothers, not to be confused with the soft drink, the Koch brothers spent over $250 million in that campaign. I think the figure, frankly, is much higher. And the suggestion is they're going to double that spending this time. They've already spent $10 million in the state of North Carolina with negative television advertising for 12 months against the Democratic incumbent, Senator Kay Hagan. 12 months of negative TV ads, trying to beat her down so that they can defeat her in November. Make no mistake, there's a lot of money being spent on both sides. But these oligarchs, Sheldon Adelson, this man who runs, as you've said, Senator, I guess one of the biggest gambling operations, maybe he's the wealthiest man when it comes to that, in the United States, maybe in the world, he's become a player. Can you imagine that those who want to run for the Republican nomination for president come hat in hand, land at the Las Vegas airport, and walk into a room and see if they can say something that appeals to this man who's worth billions of dollars? Last time, he fell in love with Newt Gingrich, and he was going to make Newt Gingrich president. People in many of the Republican primaries saw it differently. Well, this time, he wants to pick another horse to ride. Why are the richest people in America so intent on owning our political process? Because they have an agenda. They have an agenda. It isn't just because they love the Constitution. They have an agenda which makes the tax code work for them, an agenda which makes sure that government spending and things that aren't priorities for them is reduced.